If you're thinking about moving to Mount Pleasant, these are the spots that locals swear by, and we will also go over why they're worth the look. Not every neighborhood is right for every person, and some areas are more active, some are all about peace and quiet, and others are perfect if you're trying to strike a balance between the two. So in this video, I'm breaking down the top 5 of the most desirable neighborhoods in Mount Pleasant, what each one feels like, and who they might be right for, because sometimes the best way to pick a home is by finding the neighborhood that just feels like you. Hi, I'm Jamie Broderick, a local realtor right here in Michigan, and I help people find homes that fit their lives and make the whole process as smooth as possible. Buying a home is exciting, but it can also be a little overwhelming, especially if you're not familiar with the local neighborhoods. That's why I love doing these breakdowns, so you can picture what day-to-day life actually feels like in these places, not just what the listings tell you. Let's start with the neighborhood that has a ton of personality, and honestly, it's one of the most talked about spots in town. I'm talking about the area just south of Central Michigan University, often called CMU South, or the University District by locals and real estate professionals. This part of Mount Pleasant sits just below campus with boundaries that generally run from Bellows Street down to Preston and from Washington Street across to Mission. If you're looking at a map, streets like Gaylord, May, High, Franklin, Lansing University, and Main crisscross this pocket, and they're packed with charm. You'll find a little bit of everything here, from classic older homes with big front porches, duplexes and townhomes, and of course some student rentals. But it's not just the college students. There's a great mix of faculty, young professionals, and longtime residents who enjoy the energy that comes with living near a major university. It's a kind of neighborhood where something's always happening. People are out walking their dogs, grabbing a coffee at local spots like Ponder Coffee, or heading to basketball games at McGurk Arena, or catching the shows at Bush Theater. There's a natural buzz here, but it's balanced out by leafy sidewalks, big trees, and streets with a lot of character. Because of its location, walkability is one of the biggest perks. You can get to restaurants, trails, and shops and parks without needing your car. And real estate data backs that up. This neighborhood ranks among the highest in Mount Pleasant for pedestrian access and bikeability. It's a rare blend of convenience and connection. Of course, there are trade-offs, but it's near the campus core and it can get a little bit lively, especially on the weekends or during big events. But for a lot of people, that's vibrancy is part of the appeal. Daily errands are easy too. You're only minutes from Target, Meijer, and the Green Tree Co-op Market. And if you have kids, schools like Gaynard Elementary and Fancher Elementary are within a short distance, with Mount Pleasant Middle and High Schools just a little quick drive away. All in all, CMU South is a great choice if you're looking for character, connection, and that walk to everything kind of lifestyle. It's got movement, history, and a ton of heart. And for many people moving to Mount Pleasant, it's one of the first areas to check out. Okay, next up is Mount Pleasant West. This is the kind of neighborhood that just feels peaceful the minute you drive into it. It's west of Mission Street between High Street and Broomfield, and it stretches all the way to Bradley Street. And once you pass through, you'll start to notice some more mature trees, some larger lawns, and a slower pace of life. This area includes streets like Henry, Watson, Harris, Appian Way, Country Club Drive, and Brentwood Drive, all places that give you that classic, well-established neighborhood feel. Homes here lean more toward mid-century ranches and split levels, and most of them sit on generous lots. You'll find gardens, swing sets, and the occasional backyard chicken coop, seriously. There's a lot of pride of homeownership here, and it really shows. And it's the type of place where families go for evening walks or kid bike rides, and the front porches still get used for waving at your neighbors. It's especially popular with families, retirees, and folks who are looking to put down roots somewhere stable. You're still just 5 to 10 minutes from downtown and CMU, but it feels like you're in a completely different pace of life. If CMU South is the buzz, this is the breeze. School-wise, you've got options nearby with Valsville Elementary and Pullen Elementary, both serving this area, and they get great parent reviews for supportive staff and strong academic programs. Mount Pleasant High School is just a short drive away, which is super convenient for busy families juggling after school sports or picking up runs. Another thing that people really appreciate about this neighborhood is the access to the parks. Island Park and Mill Pond Park are just a few minutes away, which are perfect for walking trails, river views, playground time, or weekend picnics. If you're a runner, a biker, or someone who just likes the quiet start of the morning, you'll love having those green spaces nearby. Now you will probably need a car for most errands because it's not the most walkable as all the neighborhoods near campus are, but traffic is light and the drive into town is quick. Most errands like groceries, pharmacy runs, or dinner pickups are within a 10-minute radius, and you're close to Meijer, Menards, and local favorites like Mitchell's Deli or Pisanello's Pizza if you're craving classic Midwest comfort food. And for coffee, just head back towards Mission Street and you've got Coffee House 111 or Big B nearby. One of the best parts is that this area doesn't have a lot of rental turnover. Neighbors tend to stick around, and that brings a strong sense of community. It's the kind of place where people help rake leaves in the fall and shovel driveways in the winter and look out for one another all year round. So if you're looking for a neighborhood that's calm, consistent, and just outside the busier core of Mount Pleasant West might be exactly what you are looking for. It's not flashy, but it has that quiet charm that wins people over once they move in. Okay, so next up is the Preston-Sweeney corridor. It's a neighborhood that often flies under the radar, but is one of the most well-balanced areas in Mount Pleasant. This pocket sits just east of downtown and south of Pickard Road, and think of it as an area roughly between like Pickard down to Preston Street and Mission across from Brown Street, with East Preston and Sweeney at the heart of it. One of the coolest things about this corridor is the mix that it has. You'll find lovingly maintained older homes with wide porches, original hardwoods, and curb appeal alongside smaller budget-friendly properties that are perfect for first-time buyers. There's a $317,000 median home price that backs it up, and you're just a few minutes from Island Park, the library, downtown restaurants, and CMU, yet it's tucked out of the main traffic flow. It's quiet and calm, which is great for evening dog walks or morning jogs or just being outside, enjoying outside without the cars zooming by. Errands couldn't be easier because if you need groceries, you can swing by Rick's Food Center, or if you need a coffee break, downtown spots like Ponder Coffee and Max and Emily's are just a block or two away. And if you've got kids, Fancher Elementary is nearby and it has a strong local reputation. There's a good mix of owners and renters in this corridor, and it has a stable yet energized community feel. A recent look at homes moved us from $70,000 to $200,000, and that's for like a 2 to a 4 bedroom, depending on what you're looking at. And condos actually come in $300,000+, and rents, any kind of rent that you're looking for over there is about $1,500 a month. Another major plus is the short commute times. Nearly 71% of residents get back to work in less than 15 minutes, which is better than big cities. And it ranks highly for being student friendly, which is great if your career is in academia or still want a real home. So just a little heads up, because many homes are from the 70s, they may need a little bit of TLC like updated HVAC insulation or unique 70s layouts, but for many buyers, that character is exactly the charm. So if you're looking for that perfect middle ground, close to downtown and CMU, but quieter and more residential, the Preston-Sweeney corridor is your sweet spot. It's walkable, charming, practical, and full of personality. Okay, so let's talk about Deerfield Center and the Two River areas. This part of Mount Pleasant is where you'll find some of the city's newer developments, and it's definitely one of the more sought after areas if you're looking for that move-in ready feel. We're talking open concept layouts, attached garages, sidewalks that are actually used for neighborhood strolls, and homes that don't come with a long to-do list right after you move in. Most of the houses were built within the last 10 to 15 years, and it really shows. From the curb appeal to the modern finishes inside, this neighborhood sits on the southwest side of town, roughly between Somerton and Isabella Road, with streets like Deerfield Road, Appian Way, Churchill Boulevard, and Hilltop Lane winding through the area. The layout feels super intentional with wider roads, uniform setbacks, and homes that complement each other without feeling cookie cutter. It's suburban, but still very connected. You're less than 10 minutes from Meijer, Target, Menards, and Mission Street shopping corridor, so even though it feels peaceful, you're not isolated at all. One of the biggest things that people love here is the consistency. Homes tend to be in that $450,000 to $550,000 range, often 4 or 5 bedroom layouts with plenty of space, modern kitchens, updated plumbing, and energy efficient systems. That means that fewer surprises and fewer maintenance projects compared to older homes elsewhere in town. But even with all the newer builds, the neighborhood doesn't feel sterile. There's real personality here. You'll see kids riding bikes together, seasonal decorations on porches, and neighbors waving as they walk their dogs. It's got that friendly community vibe without being overly busy. And here's something that's worth noticing. This is an area where people tend to stay. There's not a lot of rental turnover or constant moving trucks. Most homeowners settle in long-term, which adds to that stable community-oriented feel. You're also within Mount Pleasant School District, and Vowles Elementary is just a few minutes away, and if you've got little ones, there are a handful of highly rated daycare and preschool centers nearby too. It's kind of like that area was built with families in mind. And when it comes to outdoor space, a lot of these homes have fenced-in yards or big decks, which are perfect for summer barbecues, weekend gatherings, birthday parties, or just letting your kids run around safely. You're also close to the parks and trails on the city's southwest side if you want a little bit more green space. Okay, so now, because these homes are newer and in higher demand, prices here tend to sit above the city average. But for many buyers, it's worth it. So if you're getting a low maintenance lifestyle, strong resale value, and that rare everything just works feeling from day one. So if you're looking for a modern kitchen, a quiet street, and a neighborhood that really feels like home, Deerfield Center and the Two Rivers area might be exactly what you're searching for. All right, last on our list is the Sweeney Road and East Broomfield area. And truly, this neighborhood is kind of Mount Pleasant's quiet overachiever. It's not the flashiest place in town, and it's not packed with new developments or downtown buzz, but that's exactly what makes it such a solid choice for so many people. So if you're looking for a peaceful place to settle down with great access to everything, and you need a little slower, more relaxed pace, this might be your perfect match. This neighborhood sits just southeast of downtown. Sweeney Road runs north, south, and East Broomfield cuts across the southern edge of town. It's a super practical location with quick access to Mission Street, Isabella Road, and even the freeway, making it a great option if you commute or just want to drive across town for errands. Now let's talk about the homes. This area has a really nice mix. You'll see classic ranches, bi-levels, and even a few townhome style properties, plus some newer builds sprinkled throughout. Prices tend to range from the high 100s up to the low 400s, depending on the size, age, and condition. There's something here for just about every budget, especially if you're looking for something move-in ready that doesn't break the bank. It's a popular spot for young professionals, couples buying their first home, and families who want to stay close to schools and city services, but without being right in the thick of student housing or downtown traffic. And that's what people love about this area. It's close to everything, but it still feels tucked away. You're only a few minutes from Meijer, Aldi, banks, gyms like Planet Fitness and Maury Courts, the post office, you name it. But the streets themselves, they're quiet, they're calm, there's no rush, there's no noise. You're also within Mount Pleasant Public School District, and you've got Kinney Elementary just around the corner. The middle and high schools are close too, which makes it super manageable for families with kids of all ages. One of the things I always suggest if you're considering this neighborhood is take a drive through different times of day. You'll get a real feel for how peaceful it is during the morning, evenings, and on the weekends. Even with all the growth happening in other parts of Mount Pleasant, this area holds on to that stable, established vibe. And that means a lot to people looking for something more long-term. If you're after a home that's practical, peaceful, and well-connected with a little bit more room for breathing room and a lot less traffic, Sweeney Road in East Broomfield might be just a place for you. So that's the quick tour of the 5 great neighborhoods in Mount Pleasant, each one with its own personality, depending on what you're looking for. If it's energy, space, charm, or something convenient, there's truly something for everyone here. The key is figuring out what you need in your day-to-day life and finding out the area that fits that best. And if you're not sure where to start, that's where I can come in. If you're interested in exploring Mount Pleasant with a local expert, maybe even finding your perfect place to call home, I'd love to help. My number is right here on the screen, and you can feel free to call, text, or email. I'm always happy to chat. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and like and subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you soon.